All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Today we're in Morgan-Monroe State Forest here in southern Indiana, kind of between Martinsville and Bloomington. We have never been here to Morgan-Monroe State Forest. Taking the rock shelter trail today, see what it's got to offer. So far, the rock shelter trail has just followed an old forest road. Nothing real special yet, but I mean, we kind of got spoiled, I think, from hiking in mountains and such. So we kind of take for granted the forest here in Indiana. Going a little bit of off trailing because the state forest trails remind me of national forest trails in that they're not well marked at all. One minute you're on the right trail, the next minute it's completely changed. And of course GPS out here is really wonky. This here, I'm not even sure what this trail is here, but it's not up there, so we're taking it.
Guess we'll find out.
Alright, so as I said earlier, the trails here aren't well marked. So if you haven't been here before, it's going to be kind of a hard thing, but we've had to do a little bit of backtracking, but we found where we're supposed to be at, finally. So apparently they have signs occasionally. So we're back off the low gap trail and onto the rock shelter trail, which technically they're partially are the same anyway, but now we're at least where we were supposed to be to begin with. I love it, huh?
Yep.
7 miles?
Yep.
Her prediction was a 7-mile hike would end up being, I'm sorry, this 3-mile hike would end up being 7 miles. And it may end up being that by the time we're done. Looks like we might have found another frog pond. We seem to be pretty good at finding these little bitty ponds out in these places full of frogs.
There we are.
Switch back, switch back,
Switch back.
switch back. That's what these are called, where you go back and forth.
Straight east.
I imagine to the right, even though there's no sign here, huh? Oh, see, there's this markers on this tree. We just took it backwards, son.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, just going down.
Go ahead, buddy. Keep going. I think we finally found the rock shelter of the rock shelter trail we have been trying to hike on. Oh, check that out. Centipede. Makes you wonder what kind of water flow it took at one time to carve this out. All we see now is barely a trickle stream. Once upon a time. Oh no. That's not even to mention some of the graffiti. That's the downside to these places, is a lot of people have disrespect for it. What?
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know, but it blew my forehead pretty fast.
I assume this creek bed is the trail. It looks pretty wore down.
You're determined to make this 7 miles, aren't you?
See, that should have on it, in my opinion, rock shelter trail as well.
Yeah.
Tecumseh Trail is obviously the long distance trail, but here in the state forest it's also a rock shelter trail. They don't mark it for that. We've just about finished the rock shelter trail here in Morgan-Monroe State Forest. The part that was the nature preserve, where you go down into the ravine and such, follow the old creek bed and everything, I liked that. That was pretty good. But the so many forest road crisscross here, a lot of logging roads and such, because Indiana doesn't take care of their state forest very well. They underfund it, which causes the state forest to then sell a lot of their trees. So you end up with forest roads like this and the occasional clear cut area, because contrary to what Indiana says, they don't just come in and take the old mature trees that need to go. They take sections at a time. Anyway, not a bad forest. We're kind of at the northern section of where southern Indiana gets a lot of forested areas, so really the further south you go from here, the better it gets. Do you like it, Caden?
Yes.
What about you? Any thoughts?
No.
No thoughts. Oh. All right, our final tally on our completely unscientific mileage.
7.94 miles. So you take off 1 mile for all the like little things that we did before we started hiking, like going around the house and going to visit Lil Bub, and you get 7 miles. Almost.
And then you look at my phone and it says 6.63 miles. Huh.
You have longer legs.
Same amount of mileage.
We're going to steps.